everyone, Lucimus Prime here, so it's time for the next episode of my series of video games that did not need sequels. And in today's video, I'm going to be covering this time an example of a superhero video game, which in my opinion did not need a sequel, which actually came out early this year, when it comes to a time of recording. This is a superhero game based on a character from DC Comics, and this game, which in my opinion did not need any continuation whatsoever, is none other than 2015's Batman Arkham Knight. So, you guys are probably going to ask me what are my thoughts on the Batman Arkham series of video games. Well, I will say that in my opinion, the trilogy of games by Rocksteady is in my opinion the best DC trilogy of games of all time. So, for starters, I absolutely love Arkham Asylum. Definitely a fantastic start to the Arkhamverse of Batman, absolutely love this game. And then also though the second game, of course, which is Batman Arkham City, is, in my opinion, not just the best Batman game of all time, but also, to me, the best DC game ever overall. Like, this game is a phenomenal masterpiece. In my opinion, the best DC game ever made, absolutely. Just everything I'd want in a Batman or DC game, just right there, perfect right there, in my opinion. And then also as well, in 2013, we also got a prequel to the games made by Warner Bros. Montreal, not Rocksteady, of course, which is Arkham Origins, which I actually recently played on PS3, a replay of it, and I think it's an underrated game in my opinion. Not as good as a trilogy, but still in my opinion underrated at the same time. And of course, onto this game, Arkham Knight. In my opinion, it's a good Batman game, and to me, it's a great ending to this trilogy of games, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the main trilogy. Because I think it wraps up loose ends really well, in my opinion, and does a really great job with it. So, as far as I'm concerned, it gives a great ending, and here's how it goes. Because, as you guys know, the game, of course, revolves around Batman on Halloween night stopping the Scarecrow from, of course, causing Gotham City to become the City of Fear with his fear toxins. And, of course, you defeat Scarecrow, Batman is able to literally use his own fear toxin against Scarecrow, where it's revealed, of course, that Scarecrow is afraid of Batman himself. So I guess you could say that he gives Scarecrow a taste of his own medicine. So with Scarecrow defeated, of course, Batman, of course, also as well has the role of stopping all the other criminals in Gotham, because the game has you as well stopping the criminals all over Gotham as like side activities, and they all, of course, contribute to the game's ending, which in my opinion is probably the perfect ending to a franchise, because at the end of the game, once all the villains are defeated and Gotham City no longer has any criminals, Batman will then, of course, contact Commissioner Gordon, and he'll say to him, "It's done. Gotham is safe." And then he says goodbye to Commissioner Gordon, who thanks him for everything. And then he goes to Wayne Manor, where he meets Alfred. Alfred, of course, asks him, "Are you sure you want to do this, sir?" And Bruce Wayne, of course, says he has to. And then after that, Wayne Manor, of course, blows up. And it's implied that Bruce and Alfred are dead. So, and that leaves a mystery, really. And of course, the game also, of course, has a credit scene as well, in which, of course, criminals, of course, think, of course, like it's the end of Batman when they see a figure on a router watching them committing a crime. But it's instead, of course, or something which leads us to guess what it is, really. Maybe Batman, of course, has secretly returned and he's using maybe different powers or something. Or maybe it's fear toxin left behind in the city that didn't get cleaned up, that's maybe affecting them or something. So maybe be scared of Batman or something. So maybe that's what it is, who knows, really. The game lets you decide what it is. But as far as I'm concerned, though, the idea of Batman, of course, ending his time as Batman following Halloween night is proof of that, really. So, of course, he activates the Nightmare Protocol to protect his loved ones right there. So, that was definitely, in my opinion, a brilliant ending. And I must say as well that Batman's quote saying Gotham is safe, it hits so differently following the passing of Kevin Conroy, rest in peace, who is, in my opinion, the greatest Batman ever, who, in my opinion, can never be topped. To me, he is Batman. And that line, of course, hits so differently because it literally feels like he's saying goodbye to us, really. The character's work is done and that's it now. So, it really hits differently. But, unfortunately, despite that phenomenal ending, we sadly got a continuation released earlier this year, 9 years after Arkham Knight. And this is a game which I was at first excited for. But when I saw the gameplay clips and leaks, I was instantly done with the game. And that game, of course, is none other than this year's Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. And I'm also going to say, guys, that in my opinion, this is, for me, the worst DC game ever. Like, I cannot believe we go from what is, in my opinion, the best DC game, and probably the best DC trilogy, to what is, in my opinion, the worst one. And I'm also going to simply say, guys, that in my opinion, in this game, there's absolutely nothing good about it at all, in my opinion. Nothing. Because I think it's absolute trash, and it completely ruins the trilogy. And because in the game, guys, you play as the Suicide Squad themselves in open world and Metropolis, and you're, of course, fighting the Justice League, who are brainwashed by Brainiac. And I must say as well that, in my opinion, completely ruins them, because even the Justice League themselves, in my opinion, are sort of character in this game, because there's no way they could be so stupid to allow themselves to be mind-controlled by Brainiac, especially Batman. Because in the game, guys, Wonder Woman is the only character in the League who's not under Brainiac's control. But I'm thinking, shouldn't it have been Batman? Because Batman would have seen it coming a mile away that the Brainiac was going to control the League, and he'd have probably avoided the chance to get controlled. So, that made Batman, in my opinion, a sort of character. But the worst thing the game does, which is why I despise it, is how it completely disrespects the League. Especially Batman. Because, sadly, guys, this is Kevin Conroy's final video game appearance as Batman before he died, rest in peace. It's because he was in the game I wanted to play it, but when I saw the gameplay, I was very appalled by it. It reminded me a lot of crap Avengers from 2020, which is, in my opinion, the worst Avengers game ever made. But in my opinion, a lot worse, mainly because of disrespect to the Justice League, as I discovered later on. And then I saw the leaks, and when I saw the leaks where, of course, they were showing that Batman actually gets killed by the Suicide Squad, I was really angry. I didn't want to play it. I was hoping it was not real and was something else, maybe like an illusion or something from Fear Toxin, like an Arkham Knight's ending. But no, I was painfully wrong, because it turned out to be real. So, me, of course, saying, please don't tell me this is real, turned out to be all for nothing, because it was real. And when that clip posted on Twitter of Arkham and Batman's final scene, and I say Arkham Batman in quotation marks because I pretend the Batman of this game is not connected to the Arkhamverse. Because FYI, in my opinion, the game doesn't even feel like it's part of the Arkhamverse because it feels so different, and I say different in a bad way. Because what's horrible is, the game, of course, has you beat Batman to a pulp after, of course, a boss fight where he's like a nightmare Batman, and you literally put him on like a bench, and rather than, like, try to keep fighting, which was what Batman would have done, he just sits there and lets you kill him. And I'll never forgive Rocksteady for giving him a pathetic last line where he simply asks, "Are we done with your bad stand-up routine?" And then he gets shot in the head by Harley. Like, there is no way Batman would have said that. He'd have probably, like, kept on fighting and tried to fight despite being beaten to a pulp. But no, he allowed himself to die. Like, I don't care if he got mind controlled by Brainiac. Even when he was mind controlled, he'd probably try and keep fighting, surely. But, unfortunately not. And also, are you also seriously going to tell me that this character, who's been through so much in the previous Arkham games, gets a send-off like that? A character who defeated lots of his enemies on Christmas Eve night, and then also early Christmas Day morning in Arkham Origins, and also fighting his enemies in Arkham Asylum, and then also as well in, of course, a fortified part of Gotham called Arkham City, and then pretty much nearly his entire rogue gallery on Halloween night gets a send-off like that, where he's beaten to a pulp by people who he would have easily defeated. Like, the Arkham Batman would have wiped the floor with the Suicide Squad in the Arkham games, but no. Instead in this game, he's pathetically beaten to a pulp and shot in the head. Just, what an absolute joke. Like, screw this game all the way. Like, if they really thought it'd be a great idea to do that to Batman, then all I can say to them is, get stuffed. So that, in my opinion, was an absolute joke, how we do that to Batman. And I think even if we didn't lose Kevin Conroy too soon, if he hadn't passed away, it still would have been disrespectful either way. Like, I think the game disrespects the entire league. I'm not going to go into details on how it disrespects people like Green Lantern and Flash, because in my opinion, it's disgusting. And I'll let you guys see for yourself if you want to find out. I'm not going to say it on here, because it is horrible, in my opinion, how it disrespects those two. And I think also Superman as well, in my opinion, is also wasted too as well. I felt so bad for Superman as well, especially with Nolan North who voiced him and the rest of the voice cast. The voice cast of this game deserves so much better. And also as well, the gameplay, in my opinion, also absolutely sucks compared to the Arkham trilogy as well. And because one thing about Arkham now, which I've got to give lots of praise to the So it makes for, it's probably for me the graphics and the detail, because it holds up phenomenally 9 years later. And you wouldn't think it was that at all because of how phenomenal it looks. But the Suicide Squad game, in my opinion, looks terrible in comparison, like a late PS3 or PS2 game in comparison, because it's such a massive downgrade compared to the stunning graphics of Arkham Knight. But that's not the worst thing, because I already said that, in my opinion, the worst thing about the game is how it disrespects the Justice League and gives them pathetic send-offs. Not to mention, I think it makes the Suicide Squad characters really unlikable, especially Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, because Poison Ivy is also in the game too, guys, and so is Penguin and Riddler. In my opinion, the game massacres those characters a lot, and it really angered me a lot seeing that happen. And I personally don't agree with them actually killing off the League themselves. I mean, because the way it executed was pathetic enough, but the fact you actually have to do it is, in my opinion, just really questionable and stupid. Like, I was hoping that you'd have a chance to remove Brainiac's control from them, and they'd, of course, join forces to stop Brainiac, but no. I must also say that Brainiac, in my opinion, also looks horrible in the game. A very cringeworthy design, and I can't believe they dragged in Jason Isaacs to voice him. Poor Jason. Great actor wasted in this game as a character. What an absolute waste of him. So all I can say is, screw Suicide Squad or Kill Justice League all the way. In my opinion, it's absolute trash. And of course, it's written by Sweet Baby Stink, as I call them. Screw that company all the way for writing the game. Is any only wonder that several Rocksteady crew members left? And you know what, rightfully so, we're doing the right thing dodging this game. We're doing the right thing dodging a bullet. Absolutely. And not to mention, and as well, it's also no surprise to me that recently Arkham Knight's had a lot more players than Suicide Squad Kill Justice League recently. Because more people playing this than Suicide Squad, and you know what, rightfully so. And very soon, guys, I'll be joining them, because currently I'm actually replaying my Arkham games. I've already replayed Arkham Origins, and then going to replay Asylum City, and then finally Arkham Knight, and I'm going to end it right there. To me, that's the end right there. To me, Arkham Knight is the end of a great trilogy as far as I'm concerned, and no more came after it. And I don't see why, because Gotham City is now safe, and of course, Batman is no longer Batman, as he says, because he had to take Nightmare Protocol to protect his loved ones. So as far as I'm concerned, and of course, Arkham Knight is truly the end of the Arkhamverse. And I pretend that Suicide Squad Kill Justice League is non-canon garbage. But Batman of that game is not from the Arkhamverse as far as I'm concerned. So, all I can say is, screw the Suicide Squad game all the way, and I flat out refuse to play it. I've seen enough clips of it for me to judge, but it's absolute garbage. And in my opinion, it's not worth playing at all. If you guys are going to ask me, is it worth playing? All I simply say is, no, it's not. If you want to play great DC games, then please play the Arkham trilogy. Maybe play Arkham Origins if you want to go a decent prequel, but the trilogy, in my opinion, is the best DC trilogy of all time, which is more worth playing than that absolute trash being Suicide Squad game. So, as far as I'm concerned, guys, Batman Arkham Knight, for me, is definitely a big example I can say of a game that did not need sequels at all. So, I'll have to pretend it's the end of a great trilogy. So, guys, this is me doing the next episode of video games that didn't need sequels. I was saying why, in my opinion, Batman Arkham Knight is a big example, like I say, of a game that did not need sequels. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to leave in the comments what you guys think about Batman Arkham Knight. Do you need a sequel or not? Leave in the comments below. Also, be sure to join Team Pamper Press and subscribe to the coming future. And I'll see you all later.